Well, good morning, folks. It's Tuesday morning. I didn't video anything yesterday, sorry. Some of the stuff there, I guess I could have took the time to come and got you and set you up or whatever. But but me just using the torch and doing the cutting and stuff, it's just kind of monotonous and seeing the same thing. But anyway, yeah, I got all the metal off thanks to my big yellow friend here. Without it, it would have been really difficult. Like I said before, whenever you cut a weld and stuff, it just kind of wants to form right in behind you and weld itself back. Kind of I mean, it doesn't hold like a weld, but by using that, getting behind it, and you're able to pull it right off. So I'm going to clean up my mess here. And this morning, some of these pieces might keep, because I need to make a bracket on the underneath over there on the other side for the hydraulic lines and stuff that are going to run. I'll go around and show you here what I got in mind. Just like anything else I go to do, turns into a little bit more of a project than what I really wanted. But I'm gonna get it. But see, the hydraulic lines and was coming up there just like that electrical line. I'll have to, I think I might be able to leave that, because my boards are going to come in and I'm going to cut them from the sawmill. Basically, they'll fit. They're going to ride on these cross members here, and I'm going to cut them where they'll fit more or less butt up against that. Man, that's going to be thick. I was figuring 2 inches. So yeah, that's going to be pretty thick. But anyway, yeah, since the boards are going to be sitting on this, and well, I won't be able to put the hydraulic lines all the way through there. So what I'm going to do, you can see them coming through here, and they're all going back to those controls right back there. So what I'm going to do is probably utilize some of that metal, and I'll utilize this bottom beam, and it will still be good enough to go ahead and run that. So I'll probably lay a piece of metal, or lay a piece of that right there right on top there, come up, and then have a smaller, shorter piece kind of come down, probably be about right in here, this area, and meet that other piece, and then weld it here and weld it on this piece here that's going to be sitting here. And then I can just go ahead and run them down underneath there, give them plenty of room, and then tuck them in that hole there, which they'll go hook back up. So I've got some repairs to do. Like I say, replace that bolt. It's a cradle for that cylinder to sit in, and it had a big U-bolt here come. I'll probably maybe use some of that metal or whatever. Maybe I can weld it, come down on the sides, and then put a bolt through there. Just a cradle for that cylinder to sit. And you see it how it's mounted there. So to give it a little more support. The next thing here, water grease or something. You gotta check out this axle. Like I say, that's not quite right. It needs to go that way. So I'll do some measurements. Do some more measurements. I already did measurements. According to the measurements I got between that axle and like the frame and stuff like that, that's setting like a 1/4 inch back too far. So I'm going to do more measurements to see how that axle actually is compared to the being square with the frame. So what's next is I gotta go ahead and get all this scaly rust off. My power washer's not gonna blast that off. So my neighbor gave me didn't give it to me, let me borrow a needle air tool. Looks like an impact wrench that'll knock all that off. Then I gotta come through here, and that's the trouble about using a torch. You gotta be really careful on cutting, and because she'll just undercut and go right down into the other metal, which you don't want. But I think time I grind all them off, you know, that's not going to hurt the structure of the machine, of the trailer itself anyway. It's just going to be a cosmetic thing. I might get my welder out and fill that back in. Won't take much to fill that in. And like I said, I'll have probably a day or two just grinding. So I might bring the torch back in and see, like a piece like that, that's a lot of grinding. Whereas I take the torch and trim that off a whole lot in just no time at all, and that'll make a whole lot less grinding. Need to get these ground down here for those boards to set. Now I have to see if we can get a tape measure in here. A little brisk this morning. Got my jacket on. I got a t-shirt under my long sleeve shirt, and that time of the year I serviced old Whitey here yesterday. It was showing it's needing oil change, and did the check on the mileage here. When I changed it before, I changed it April of this year, and I put 3,000 miles on it. So anyway, I went ahead and dropped the oil out of it, changed filter, and I need to double check the oil level, make sure she's full. But like I was saying there, I was planning on just going 2-inch. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go, 2-inch thick boards, and that'll bring me up flush with this. And see, and that's about 1 3/4 inches. So I don't think that's going to hurt anything, being this being lower than the board. No, it's not going to hurt anything. But I got to come back here and grind all these welds off, because this is going to be exposed. That's going to be exposed. And then here, 2 inches is going to bring me to the top of this. So that weld there, all those welds down through there need to be cleaned up a little bit. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, it's not that important, because once you get it smoothed up a little bit and get some paint on it. But in this piece up here, it's a good thing I had my big yellow friend help me on this piece. Oh yeah, I got to cut these off, get them cut off of there. And I was thinking I was going to leave this part here, but I'm going to double check, look at that. I might go ahead and cut this off I was thinking that curved piece. My plans was not to do anything with that curved piece. Leave it there. It'd create more work. So I might put a straight edge here. Come right straight down. And tuck those boards that's going to be coming through here. Yeah, this is going to be just all 2x lumber, oak, going from here to there. Them are going to be gone. You can see how, ain't that something? You know, of course this is the worst up here because it's right underneath the tractor wheels and truck wheels that slung up all that salt. Basically it's salt what does that. So, and like I said, if they just would have went in there and caulked caulk the seams up under here to keep anything like that getting in there, and see what you can see what it did then. See, it just started rusting underneath there and just caused that, and eventually just ate it away, you know. So evidently this trailer was in a northern part of the United States where it was constantly used of moving containers and salt covered roads. So, you know, those companies, it's a big investment buying one of these things, you know. And, you know, these companies that had these, I'm sure they had a fleet of them. So it would have been nice to had a wash bay set up where you could, you know, at least once a week, you know, go in there and run it through the wash bay and where it would spray up underneath there and get all that salt off of there. It just, I mean, this is terrible, but it is what it is. So I was hoping the original manual was in there, but it's not. It came with the trailer. So yeah, I gotta go to work this morning and I'll get those beams off, and I'll probably go ahead and cut them off because that's not showing any rust, but it is up there. Take a look at it over here. That piece will stay. Be those pieces. Yeah. Where to stop? Where to stop? Where to stop? See if those pieces there are leaving these pieces. I can come back. Leave this piece here because I got a piece of metal that I was planning on going from covering this back up from here to here, all the way up. And of course cut this part out. It'll more or less fit back in there like that one was. That's what the plans are. Might as well put a straight edge in there so I can cut that straight. I'm going to leave this here. This section, I'll leave that section. Another dent there. Yeah, and then maybe leave some here. And then I could take these boards, this either goes down here, and leave some here about that much. And then I could take the new boards and shove them up underneath here. And leave them a little short or whatever so they'll fit right down in here. Yeah, so yeah, I'll get my gear on, I guess, and go to work. Yeah, I think I might as well just go ahead and cut that on out, top and bottom, and because I gotta cut those pieces, there's no sense of cutting them right here when they're going to be need to cut back here. I'm trying to think if I can get them out from there. I should be able to, but yeah, I got a lot of work. Getting all that cleaned off of there. If metal wouldn't cost so much. No. Nope. I'll use boards. This is staying. Alright, well, I'll get this mess cleaned up here a little bit. I'm not tripping over everything. I'm going to have a pretty good load on the trailer. It's a good thing. I wish I would have went ahead and videotaped me getting this flat piece off of here, because I knew it was going to be a bear, you know, because there was a whole lot of welds on that piece that was here. How in the heck am I do that? So I went ahead and cut a hole up there and just took that chain that's on the end of the big yellow friend bucket there. Of course, I had to put the thumb up, and the reason I had to put the thumb up is when I got down in this lower area so I can get the bucket teeth to sit right inside the pieces to pull those off. But anyway, yeah, I just went ahead and cut a hole there and stuck a hook on there, and then I was able to get the bucket right in there behind the chain and then more or less pull it off. So say if it would have been about impossible getting off there with a hammer and stuff, or she just peeled it right off of there. So anyway, let's go ahead and get to work. Not getting done by itself. I'll get back to you a little later, I reckon, or be kind of boring just watch me cleaning that stuff up. So I'll give you an update after we get it cleaned up. leave in the comments if you kind of want to keep watching me doing tedious stuff like that, and we'll change it around. All right, let's sign off here now. GoPro, stop recording.